Hello and welcome to this new episode of the Naturally Ecstatic Podcast with me, Pete Warnock, and again I'm joined by my dear friend and colleague Clara Apollo.
Oh, hello there, Pete. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me back here for this new episode. And what do you really want to speak into in this particular time?
Well, I have had a huge journey with neurodiversity. I was diagnosed recently with ADHD, but I've been dyslexic for most of my life since I was 5. And looking through my life, I have displayed all of the symptoms of ADHD. And so I really want to talk into things that I've learned and used to manage my ADHD and my neurodiversity, because I speak to quite a lot of people who are really having a very, very tough time. And it seems like as life is speeding up and there is more demand on our energy, on our attention, on our time, people's neurodiversity is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and I think people who are neurotypical are also exhibiting ADHD symptoms because of just what you've said.
Yeah, there's just no time to think anymore. We don't get space in our day very much. And a lot of us are squeezed into screens nowadays, so
Squeezed into screens. Can you feel that? And that compression of your spirit and your being.
yeah.
Like you were saying on the first episode of the Naturally Ecstatic Podcast, you were, as a young lad, used to play outside all the time. I did as well. We were fortunate, that we had so much time in nature. And so that is one of the things that you do. That's one of your practices now, isn't it? To get out into nature.
Absolutely. Connecting with nature, getting out into sunlight, getting out with my bare feet on the earth. I walk bare feet a lot of the time. And when I don't, I'm in my 5-finger toe shoes. They are amazing. They have changed my whole life, actually. Since I was 5 and changed from left to right-handed, I became dyslexic and dyspraxic. And so I became incredibly clumsy. And actually getting these 5-finger shoes spreads my feet. I found that all shoes, even barefoot shoes, kind of enclosed me and squeezed my feet in, and they made me clumsy in my feet. But actually, having these things and wearing these things, I can wear them anywhere, in water, out of water, doing anything, and I've just got so much more stability.
Oh, I'm loving this because this is spreading out the amount of contact you have with the earth. And apparently, people with ADHD have a complex connection with the earth. They kind of need more earth energy, and you are drawn to that as a natural support for you to be able to manage. And I love that you call them 5-fingered toes. That just made me smile.
Well, that's actually the name of the shoes. They're called 5-fingers, Vibram 5-fingers. So, yeah.
Okay, the little plug for you there, FiveFingers.
But I would be barefoot everywhere. But a lot of the time, like in supermarkets and stuff, you're not allowed to be barefoot. I've been kicked out of Tesco's for being barefoot before. And so I can still have my feet spread nicely, whether I go to a supermarket or whether I'm on terrain that my feet would hurt with, spiky things and kind of going through bushes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
of course. So right from the ground up, you're looking at support. What can support me with what I've been given as my bequeathment on this earth? All the pain that you suffered from an early age, which we explore more in the first episode, and also that the approach that you have to how you manage yourself, and when you're in partnership with your lovely Kalindi, which is all part of the Living in Love podcast series. But this groundedness that you give yourself. So this brings me into, how do you manage your physicality around this? What are you needing to give your physical body, like the nutrition that you need?
there are so many things that I have explored over the years, and so many things that I still do.
What's the ones that really?
Well, I love my ice bath. You've seen my I've got a chest freezer outside the back door, which I have plugged in one night a week, and that ices it up, and I just break up the ice and I cold plunge every day. And it's just utterly transformative for me.
For you, right? That sounds scary to me, but I get it. Do you alternate that with being in a sauna or hot tub or something, so you get the combination?
When our hot tub is working, I will do that. So I'll do 3 or 4 rounds in the hot tub and then in the cold, and I'll finish in cold. So
do you think this is why like cold immersion is so popular now, because it's helping people that are neurodivergent?
I think that I think that anything that brings us back into our body, into a deeper relationship with the life inside of us, is going to help everybody. And I know that within my own ADHD, I can spend way too much time in my head, going round in these loops and getting caught down rabbit holes. And so coming back into my body. And initially, when I did it, I found it slightly shocking, but I liked the shock. I'd kind of get a dopamine hit as well, you know. Now I can't do cold showers. I hate cold showers, you know. I can't wait to get out, but I can get into an ice bath, you know, and I can stay in an ice bath for 2 or 3 minutes, and I come out of there feeling like I'm on fire on the inside, like cold fire all the way through my body, and that just sets me up for my whole day.
Wow. Whereas I prefer to have the cold showers after I've been in a sauna or something. I'm happy to be under that, but the thought of immersion. I did get in the sea recently though, and that was really lovely. But I've been in a sauna, so I think that. But I think
it depends on what you're used to. Yeah. You can build tolerance to it, but also some systems work with some things. You know, it's not one size fits all. None of us, nothing in life is one size fits all.
And that's why you need to experiment and explore and listen to other people's stories of their experiences, and then go try it for yourself. Is this going to work for me?
Yeah. And I would say, don't just think about, oh, would this work for me? Do it. Do it. And don't just do it once, because we'll probably have a reaction to it. You know, if our mind is telling us I don't like this, then we won't, you know. But if we actually try it and do something for 3 or 4 days and just really drop in and actually notice what happens beyond the point where we're in this place of I don't like this, I don't want to do this. You know, we can drop down, and I use breath to kind of drop myself down into that. Breath and fascination, I mean, they're key to the whole of my naturally ecstatic living, you know. Ooh. When we bring curiosity and fascination to anything, it changes the nature of it, and it changes our relationship to it.
Of course it does. It makes it less of a chore and more of an adventure.
Yeah, what happens when I do this? And I am my own experiment. My whole life is my experiment, and I have experimented throughout my life into what works, what doesn't work. And sometimes some things will work and some things won't work, and other times they will, you know. So there are kind of patterns, there are flows. I mean, you look at the lunar calendar and all sorts of things. We move in cycles as human beings, you know, and you have to work out what happens in your cycle.
Exactly. And the cycle of the moon that affect our waters. Pete's doing this big movement with his hands here, circling, which actually looks very like Qigong. Natural movement, but mindful movement as well. So I know that you like your yoga practice and your breathwork. What other practices do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I do less yoga now. Just because I found that it didn't really suit my body. I've tried all sorts of different styles of yoga, and I personally find that yoga for me in a cold country like England doesn't really suit my body. If I'm in a hot country, or if I'm doing Bikram yoga or something like that, which is heated yoga, that really works for me. You know, but otherwise it's not great for me. So I do other things, you know. I do explore Qigong. I don't follow any particular form of Qigong. I've done lots of forms over the years, and I kind of do what is alive in the moment. I follow my breath, I follow my hands. I'm incredibly expressive, and I always kind of gesticulate, you know, when I'm talking, as you can see now. I'm moving, as you can see, Clara. I'm moving my hands all of the time, and I do when I teach, you know. So
Yeah, and we will do some videos at some point. We're going to get Pete in front of a camera for you as well. But actually, there are some videos of you on the Naturally Ecstatic YouTube channel, aren't there?
There are some, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But, there's a funny thing that happens when I get in front of a camera, I kind of dry up a bit. That's why we're doing this here as purely an audio podcast,
Yeah.
because there's something that got set up way, way back in my history around performance. When I first started playing the violin, and I've always been utterly fascinated by sound. Music touches me in a way that, wow, it either lights me up or completely shuts me down, or I'm either totally attracted to it or totally repelled by it. There's a huge piece around dissonance, resonance, vibration, all sorts of things like that. And so I weave a lot of sound into my life. And learning to play the violin when I was young, I became quite good quite fast. And so I was put on a stage. I was put in for all of my grades, performances, and I was put in for competitions. And I would become terrified because suddenly something that was just a complete flow of beauty became something that I had to get right, And so I would clam up and I just couldn't play to my capacity. So, and I still have a little thread of that going through my life of performance anxiety. So getting in front of a screen, I feel like I have to get it right.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and so these sort of conversations with you here, it feels more intimate, doesn't it? It feels like you're here with us. Yeah. We're actually sitting on Pete's bed. It's just because it's night, and we've got the boom mic in the middle of us, the computer in the middle. We've got a few bits of sound equipment around, which he's going to play a bit later for you. And we're inviting you into this space to share it with us, not because of what it looks like, but how it feels for you. And that's the key for you, isn't it? Sort of present moment, how it feels.
Yeah, it is. My whole life is set up around presence, and how can I bring more presence, and how can I surrender more into presence, and how can I share love more within the spheres that I move in.
So does this help with the ADHD, sort of overcomplicating things and getting down the rabbit holes and stuff? When you bring yourself to this presence of now moment, is that one of the anchors that you find assists?
Totally. When I'm in presence, there's nowhere else to be. There's nowhere else to go. When I'm completely enraptured by my breath, my sensations in my body, even if I'm in pain, when I'm in presence, the sensations become beautiful in some kind of way. Yeah.
Have you trained yourself then? Because this is not easy, I would think, for people who have, got scattered focused and.
Yeah, it's taken me my lifetime to,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. If you listen to the first podcast, I came off antidepressants when I was about 23 years old by rediscovering my breath and coming into a deep fascination with presence, and falling back in love with presence, which is just the life that is here, that is showing up in this moment, through all of the different sensations in my body. And when I stop trying to become something or experience something and just meet this and enjoy this, and I let this become enough, then I set myself free, and I don't have to try, I don't have to push. And in that place, my mind becomes quiet. My mind becomes quiet.
Wow.
Yeah, my mind is captivated by what is already here. So
that's a practice that is really serving you well, and it is one of the reasons why you share what you do.
Yeah, and one of the things that I say about Naturally Ecstatic is we are all naturally ecstatic just beneath the busyness, and it doesn't take much to get beneath the busyness. It really doesn't. But we need to know how.
You need to, and also to give the mind something to do, to focus on, because the mind wants to do something, especially when you've got a lot of activity.
Yeah.
So if we speak in the Taoist arena of, and probably others as well, of having the background presence, the real you, the soulful, spiritual you. And so do you think ADHD is more to do with the personality and the incarnated body and biochemistry?
I think there's so many things that make up ADHD. There's certainly parts of the brain that are slightly enlarged, that are different. There's the whole neural network, and then there's the sitting on top of trauma. And there's the sitting on top of the way in which, so yes, it's the way we're wired, but it's also the way in which we've learned to respond. And a lot of it is around safety, you know. A lot of ADHD sits upon patterns that we've learned to try and make ourselves safe when we haven't felt safe. And there are all sorts of different parts of the brain that work with this and that are slightly enlarged or slightly don't work. There's a whole science on it, which is not really my forte. But yes, so it comes down to, yes, there is a physiological aspect within our makeup, but there's also a psychological and emotional aspect and an energetic aspect.
Get it. So what about the background presence? Can you observe this? Are you the witness of all of this?
I can be.
Yes.
Yes, I can be. I can be. And my ADHD mind will continually try and hijack that. But actually, because I'm using my mind to feel into curiosity, to be curiosity and to be curious, I have trained myself to to become fascinated with the sensations in the body and to separate my feelings, my sensations from the stories. Because when you ask someone how they're feeling, they will tell you a story. They'll tell you the who, the how, and the why. And actually, they're not feelings, they're thinkings, you know. So I've trained myself to tune into sensation and come out of opposition to the sensations and become curious to the sensations. And that has served me massively. Yeah. So, and there's so many different micro practices that I use within my life to give myself more of a chance of being, I guess, in the best possible situation that my body mind can be.
Right.
So,
yeah, definitely. I know you cite your breathwork practice as absolutely, pivotal in this self-management.
It is, and then there's other kinds of nourishment. You know, there's juicing, cleansing, fasting. I love fasting. I started off with juice fasting, and then I kind of transitioned more to water fasting, and now I generally start off with a small green juice fast, quite a long period of water, purely water, and then come back to juice and bone broth to finish off the fast. My longest one is 30 days so far, and I just feel incredible. After day 3, when the body has kind of gone into ketosis, the body is in autophagy, so the body is basically eating up all of the rogue cells in the body, then you can literally start to feel your body regenerating. It's utterly amazing, and I suddenly have loads more energy. I mean, we use up a huge amount of our energy in digestion and in the processing of food and the creating of food and stuff. So when you cut all of that out, all of your energy is for yourself, and it's for your body. So,
and how does that affect your mind?
For me, it brings a huge amount of clarity. You know, I feel much more aligned within it. I mean, I remember in my 30-day water fast, day 21, I had a bit of a wobble. I kind of felt really over emotional and didn't really know where to put myself for about 2 hours. And then it went, and I just came back into feeling just so fully alive. Yeah. And I know this isn't everybody's experience of fasting, but it's mine.
So on an average day, if you even have anything like an average day, Pete, how would you start your day?
Okay, well, I get up, I generally wake up, I'll do some breath work. So sometimes that's quite gentle breath work, long, gentle breath work, and sometimes that's more of a kind of Wim Hof style of breath work. So 30 big full breaths, and then a breath hold, and then repeat that 3 times. I love doing that. I don't do it quite as dynamically as Wim Hof does. I have my own style that I teach within the Naturally Ecstatic way. And then I will either go down and do a cold immersion, or I will drink half a pint of of water, of filtered water with lemon juice and half a teaspoon of salt in it. I'm going to say that bit again. Once I've done my breath work, I come downstairs. Often I will do a cold immersion before I drink water. Sometimes I'll do a cold immersion after, but the water I drink is really key to my day. It sets up the electrolytes in my body. So I have half a teaspoon of really good sea salt. I use Celtic sea salt, and I have half a lemon squeezed in there in half a pint of water, and I'll drink that, and that hydrates me and gives me my electrolytes for the day. And then I'll flow into whatever else I want to do. I often walk up Glastonbury Tor, so I'll drive off to Glastonbury and then walk up the Tor, which is it elevates my heart rate. I always nose breathe when I'm doing any exercise. Nose breathing is really key to really getting the best out of your exercise for sure. And then I'll flow into whatever my day might be.
Wow, amazing. And let's get back to sound and movement and these practices that you've been drawn to over the years. What's your favourite?
What's my favourite? Oh, ask me 1,000 times a day and you'll get a different answer.
Well, I'm asking you right now. What's
right now? Oh, okay. So I love exploring sound in different rooms. Okay, so toning, making sound with my voice, playing with harmonics with my voice. And every room has a different tone, a different resonant point, and has a different place where when you find that place, when you get the right tone, the right sound, the sound literally reverberates back to you. So you can make the tiniest of sound and it sounds full all the way through you. And I love exploring sound in different places. Indian toilets are great because they're kind of they're tiled, but I just love going off to different places in nature and exploring sound and toning.
Yeah, that excitement as a child when you're somewhere and you get echoes, you just want to play with that sound reverberation because it's just fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're all still children. My God, really? Yeah, we might have thought we've grown up, but really, we're all children inside. We're still the same eternal spirit as we ever have been.
Exactly. And that eternal spirit loves to dance.
That eternal spirit loves to dance. It loves to sing. It loves to play. It loves to make love. It just loves to. It loves to bask in its own glory, and it loves to bask in others' glory and share itself. Everything is making love all of the time with everything else.
So this is the naturally ecstatic way, isn't it?
This is the naturally ecstatic way. Yeah, it is. It is.
And you are making it up as you go along because it's such a true experience for you.
Yeah, life informs us as to the next. Yeah, we don't have to know it all. We don't have to know anything. If we're really, really, truly present, life will just keep bringing us the next, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh. I know we've shared a dance floor before now, and I hope that it happens again. Because you like the ecstatic dance, don't you?
I love ecstatic dance. I travel across the world to do ecstatic dance festivals. So yeah, there's something again about dancing. Again, sound, beautiful, all sorts of music, and different music, as I said, will light up or shut down or change our state. So breath is a state changer, sound is a state changer, definitely.
But also that you're sharing it with other people is the commonality.
Yeah, you're breathing together, you're moving together, you're sharing, you're kind of celebrating together. And celebration is a huge piece that often doesn't happen in people's lives, because we're working or we're doing this or we're doing that, and we're not actually in celebration of the awe of being here. My God, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, and that idea of celebrating, for instance, in our culture here in the UK, or maybe a lot of the Western cultures, celebrating a birthday will be like, regular folk. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but it tends to be, let's go out for a meal, there'll be alcohol involved, and it'll just be quite sedentary in a way. And yet is that a celebration or is that just what's expected of you? So it's like, let's reframe how we celebrate each other's birthdays.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember I was speaking to someone the other day about happy birthday. I went to a birthday party and someone said, happy birthday is one of the most dirgy songs that you could ever sing, because people never sing it well. They're happy birthday. I mean, my goodness. And there are so many birthday songs that we could sing.
Yeah.
So we sang the Stevie Wonder
Stevie
happy
Wonder,
birthday.
yeah.
And to bring some life and to celebrate the person, because generally when people sing happy birthday, it doesn't really sound very happy.
It's like, oh, we're supposed to do this. We probably should. Except this year, a little happy birthday song happened for me on the beach, because a few friends of mine, we went to a sauna on the beach and then went into the sea. The first time I've ever done that, down in Avon Beach. And then I had some nice Buja chocolates, thank you so much. And then a friend of mine said, so where's the cake? That's another expectation. And it's like, how are we going to sing happy birthday to if there isn't a cake? And it's like, well, another friend had bought me a little cluster of rose, light up roses, like with a little battery pack. And she goes, well, let's sing it anyway. A friend that was with me sang the squash, tomatoes and stew version, which always makes you smile, but makes it a little more dirgy. And then she said, blow it out. So the roses were on. I blew it out and she turned them off. And it was like, yeah, you see, you can just reinvent how you do this sort of ritual.
Kalindi and I always jump the fire at Beltane.
Oh, yes.
To renew our kind of vows. And there was, which is kind of... It's a pagan custom, to renew your love for the next year with each other. And one year we were out in our van. It was peeing down with rain, and so we lit a nightlight in our van, and we jumped over the nightlight in our van.
I'm sure we were on the beach at Beltane and you did that, and we all had to jump the fire for
we did one. We did one. Yeah.
I think you got a picture of me in mid-flight, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
But some sort of ritual of celebration. I think there's a reinvention here about how we make it right for ourselves.
How can we become as playful as possible and celebrate as much of our life as possible?
And a lot of that is to when you can sing together, when you can. There's a real joy, being in choirs. I know you've run choirs before, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I ran a choir called Succulent Hum, which was all about resonance and vibration and presence. And we would sing sacred songs from around the world in beautiful 4-part harmony, 5-part harmony, just utterly beautiful. And the best part of the song was when it ended and we sat or stood in complete presence, which after singing and then you stop and you sit and you're in presence, it kind of feels so full, and it's full of presence.
Yeah, and sound frequency that's just hanging, holding. Would you like to share something like that with us here? What do you reckon?
Well, one of the things that I've done and that I've within running my choir was a warm-up which enables us to express. It elongates our exhalation. All singing is breathing, it's all an exhalation. It's all a really long exhalation, same as mantras. They're all exhaling in a particular pattern and breathing in a particular pattern. And voice is a really beautiful way of really expressing. We are expressive beings, but a lot of the time we just swallow it down. We don't say what we want to say a lot of the time. We can't say it. We can't often express ourselves because of our situation. And so I actually have a practice of using my Shruti box. I have a Shruti box I bought in India about 20 years ago. And this actually helped me to completely free up my voice. And I just use my Shruti box and I make a sound, ah, and I just sing my ah all the way as long as I can till the end of my breath. Then I take a breath and then I ah again. And in lots of different philosophies and religions and all sorts, ah means a certain thing. For me, it just means a kind of celebration. And an expression of me here now. I would like to invite you to join me just for a few breaths of ah. Now, before we start, okay, I invite you to just notice how you're feeling. Notice how you're feeling in your body. What's going on in your body? Notice if there's any tension anywhere.
I'm doing the top button.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, and just notice what's alive. Notice where your mind is. Notice, how your breath is. Notice if there's tension anywhere. And then I invite you to join me in ahhing. And you will ah at your own time. You'll breathe at your own time. And then whilst Clara is also ahhing with me, I might give a few little prompts here and there. So we're only going to do it for a few minutes, but just notice what this does in your system. Okay, so I'll start with my Shruti. You're ahhing, just really relax through your body. Really soften through your body, putting no tension in this, bringing fascination, bringing curiosity. Really letting yourself enjoy making sound. And it doesn't matter how it sounds, it's about how it feels in your body. Really softening, relaxing, and enjoying your ah. And if your mouth wants to change shape and you want to change the sound that's happening, play with different vowel sounds or anything, just explore. The invitation is to just explore sound. Just sitting in silence. And just noticing the silence through your body. This is naturalness. This is our natural state. And the more we explore this, the more we drop deeper into this, the more we expand this through our whole awareness, the more we come back to our nature, our essence, our naturally ecstatic presence. And I invite you to really feeling from this place, just open the eyes and just notice. How do you feel? How is life in this moment right now? It's something that's incredibly simple. and yet can be incredibly powerful.
Thank you. Feels so beautiful. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. So, I invite you to take that into your day. And I also invite you that if you want to explore anything that I do, any of my work, I have a free state changing practice on my Naturally Ecstatic website, naturallyecstatic.com. I have a YouTube channel where you can come and ask questions, put on comments, watch all sorts of different things, interviews and my take on all sorts of different things in life. Or you can tune into my Instagram or any of my socials. They're all at Naturally Ecstatic. So yeah, if you're interested in tuning in for more conversations and tips on ecstatic living, then come and find me, Pete Warnock, Naturally Ecstatic, because when we breathe better, we live better.